Hey now, Deadheads, we're back again. We've been back quite a lot lately. Today we've got an exciting new record from Jerry Garcia, Garcia Family Vault. Then a lot of news around re-releases, new releases, all sorts of Dead-related stuff. So stick around for the latest and greatest. But before we get into the news, I want to show off this new record, which is Heads and Tails Volume 1 from the Garcia Family Vault, put out by Round Records. It's a pretty exciting one because it is two different eras of Jerry. We've got on the A side, the Head side, Save Mother Earth from 1972, Jerry Garcia and Merle Saunders. And then on the back side, you've got the Jerry Garcia Band, and it's a jump in time. It's a jump of about 16 years to 1988. So you get two different sounds of Jerry Garcia on this, which is a really kind of interesting, new-ish thing that they're doing. Not a full show, not just a one CD or one album highlight reel from one show or one session, but we get a little bit of a time warp on this one. So let's get into it. Let me show you what's inside, and then we can talk about what it sounds like and how great it sounds. When we take a look at the front, you see I still have the plastic on this one, but it includes an obi, which collectors know, collectors are familiar with, collectors seem to love. I'm kind of here or there on the obi. It's kind of nice to have that extra information that this one is on cloudy blue colored vinyl, who's featured on this, and the call out that it is Soundboard Recordings. You'll notice that there's no hype sticker on this one, but when we open it up, there's some beautiful illustration on the liner notes, and you know how much I care about the liner notes. On the backside of this liner note sheet, you got all the information on these two recordings featured on this album, on the Head side and the Tail side, A side and B side. Again, that Save Mother Earth, pretty lengthy, jammy version of that. And then on the B side, you've got Don't Let Go and Think. And really, that Don't Let Go, for me, is the highlight for this release. It's so good. Pulling out a little bit more, you see this white, non-poly-lined inner sleeve. Typically not what most collectors or most audiophiles really want. I might replace this at some point with one of those MoFi inner sleeves that are just so good. But surprisingly clean record, given the type of inner sleeve. And when we take a look at this record, you can see it is gorgeous. That cloudy blue colored vinyl. A little bit tie-dye, almost eyes pattern. And then when we look at the back, it's almost like two front covers for this record. Two unique illustrations from the same illustrator, but two gorgeous illustrations, this time calling out that it's Jerry Garcia Band for this B-side. And it's a fairly straightforward release. It's a very simple release, which is a little bit of a breath of fresh air. We're kind of in the era now of these big box sets, full show box sets. I think the biggest this year was that RFK Stadium 1973 box set. And it was fantastic, but it's massive. And a lot of those box sets, a lot of these shows in the box sets, they're not really conducive to just one side of vinyl, or even two sides of vinyl. You get songs split up between A side and B side, sometimes changing the record mid-song and mid-jam. Or you get some of those shorter songs that, they only take up a little bit, maybe 10, 12 minutes of a side, and the rest is wasted. And then sometimes you even get an odd number of sides, as we saw in Dick's Picks Volume 2. Then you get that fourth side that's just an etching. Something cool, but if I'm paying for this many discs, and that's typically how records are priced these days, by the disc, you end up losing out on some of that space. But this record is two full sides, two really good sounding sides. I thought that side A, 70s Jerry, I thought that was going to be my favorite with that Save Mother Earth. But I was really blown away by the Tail side, part 2. The 1988 side of Jerry Garcia Band. I forgot how much I like that song, Don't Let Go, and it's really interesting. Yeah, I thought, Don't Let Go, that's not a song that you hear very often, and so I went and I looked, I checked Apple Music, I checked my record collection. There's actually a really solid Don't Let Go on that Jerry Garcia Band, that big box set, self-titled Jerry Garcia Band box set. I think it's a multi-CD release as well. It's really quite good, and I feel like that's the go-to Jerry Garcia Band release. I think that's 1990, and so a little bit after this, and I was thinking, was there earlier? Is this a fairly early Don't Let Go? And then you look back, and there's actually that release, that CD release from Jerry Garcia called Don't Let Go, that I was spinning a couple months ago. It's really quite good. You can get it on streaming. You don't have to go hunt down a rare out-of-print CD. And while I was listening to that a couple months ago, I thought for sure that would be the Black Friday release for this year, but it's not. They ended up going with a couple other Jerry Garcia releases for this year's Record Store Day Black Friday. But I wouldn't be surprised if that release ends up being a Black Friday release or a Record Store Day release sometime soon. If you haven't heard that release, it's a really solid 1976 release. I think originally a CD, but now it's on streaming, so if you haven't heard it, check it out on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, wherever you stream your music. And it wouldn't be a surprise to me if that comes out sometime soon. It's really good. Check it out. That's my rambling for today. Short and sweet, just like this record. 3 songs, really solid stuff. Not a huge investment, money-wise or time-wise, to really give this a spin and really enjoy it. But there's a lot of news to cover today. I know a lot of folks follow this channel to stay on top of what are the latest Jerry Garcia and Grateful Dead releases that are coming soon on vinyl, or reissues coming out soon on vinyl. One big one was Truckin' Up to Buffalo, came out about a week or 2 ago. I have not picked that one up. I'm kind of waiting on that one. It's been around for a while. I will probably eventually add that to my collection, but there's just been so much that I've been having a hard time staying on top of all the Dead-related, Jerry Garcia-related, and just other records that I've been adding to my collection most recently. But I know someone on the Steve Hoffman forums, I'm not going to share their name, I don't want to invade their privacy, noticed that I mentioned that in my video, they picked it up, it seems like they're really enjoying it. So congrats to you on that new pickup. And then there's a few other kind of pieces of news here and there. I don't know if Real Gone mentioned this anywhere else, but Real Gone guy on the Steve Hoffman forums mentioned that Dick's Picks 1 and 2, the Brookvale releases, were originally sourced from the CD, and so they were kind of going back and doing them justice, but then they called out that everything that Brookvale did onwards was sourced from tape. And so because of that, they're probably not so likely to do 3, 4, 8 re-released on vinyl anytime soon with a Real Gone label on the back, which is a big bummer for me. I know I've been looking for Dick's Picks Volume 4 on vinyl for quite some time now. I checked this morning, it's going for about $550 used on eBay and Discogs. I'm not paying that. If Real Gone re-releases it sometime soon, I'll pick it up at retail. Good for anyone else who already has it. I hope you paid retail, or hopefully that didn't do too much hurt on your wallet to pick up a used copy of Dick's Picks Volume 4, and especially Volume 8. Those are the two in my mind that really, really go for a lot of money, and rightfully so. Those are just killer releases. So congratulations to anyone who has those. I'm hoping I can get my hands on them at a reasonable price sometime soon. But yeah, they did mention that they're going to be jumping around a little bit more in the Dick's Picks release series, with some news to come in Q1 2024. And so we'll have a little bit, maybe 2-3 months of waiting time before we find out what the next Real Gone Dick's Picks release is. Let's anticipate, or we'll probably plan for something new that we haven't gotten yet on vinyl within the Dick's Picks series. So really interested to see where that goes. And then finally, in the re-release front, I missed this at first, but the Grateful Dead, they recently posted about this on their Instagram and a few other channels, this headline that the Grateful Dead recently tied Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra for the most top 40 releases of albums on the Billboard Top 200 chart, which is a mouthful, and I might have messed up a little bit of the superlative there. But buried in one of the press releases that was floating around is that they are re-releasing all 8 of the Arista original Grateful Dead albums that came out back in the day on vinyl. And so you'll notice, I think a lot of people went out and they picked up Without a Net. My copy's coming soon. Built to Last, I think, is already out. Those are the first 2 to come out. And I think they're working backwards of those Arista releases. And so we'll see things like Reckoning. We'll see things like Dead Set, Terrapin Station, Go to Heaven, In the Dark. I know I'm missing one somewhere. Shakedown Street, I think, was another one of those Arista releases. They're going back and they're doing all of those releases on vinyl. Some of those are fairly easy to get right now, fairly readily available. But it's nice to have kind of fresh new pressings of those for those who want to pick them up. And so I think that's all the news that's fit to print today. We already mentioned Without a Net. You've got Record Store Day releases coming up. That teaser of another Real Gone Dick's picks. We know we've got a Dave's Picks coming out in February of next year. And so a lot more Dead coming up in the next few months. A lot to be excited about. It's been a lot of fun to keep track of this, and it feels like there's a real community built around those who are excited about this. I appreciate everyone who leaves comments on these videos. Then also on the Steve Hoffman forum, plenty of threads of Grateful Dead vinyl lovers out there. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button to stay on top of all the latest news. And thanks very much. That's it for today. Peace.